Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our Uranium Daily Technical Analysis Update. We'll take a look at the charts. I'll give you my financial opinion, and we'll jump right into it. So here we go. The Uranium futures contract, yeah, we are pulling back a little bit. We're at 47.40. Everything is still intact, though. Nothing is broken. And I know some people are getting a little bit afraid. Oh, stuff's pulling back. In the overall markets, at least. That's what I mean by that, a little bit afraid. And we have been coupled up. We've been decoupled. It's a transitional period where we're trying to break apart. The commodity sector is trying to break apart from the overall stock market. Everything is so leveraged up that when the overall stock market sells off hard, we get pulled down with it. When will it break apart? What will it look like? Those are all very good questions. And I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think anyone exactly knows what it will look like in the short term. What I can say is we are messed up inventory-wise on everything. Commodities are screwed up. We're going to see a big shortage coming in a couple of years. I am positioning for that big move. I don't care about the short-term stuff. I'm positioning for the big move, and uranium's got some really good stuff coming ahead of us. So here's the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. It does look like to me that we're slowing down this momentum. And now we got to see if the buyers are willing to push this higher. They got to step in here and push it. Looking at some of the other ones like Uranium, this is a bullish piercing pattern today. What that means is that the opening price, this bottom price here, that's the opening price. The closing price closed about 50th percentile mark, and we encapsulated the opening price where this started here. So that is a bullish piercing pattern. They usually resolve themselves to the upside. So that's good. That's positive. We also have, if you were to look, kind of a steep downtrend line break that's broken. We've broken it. We've come back and did a retest. We're right below or on that support resistance line. So it is looking better. I do think that we could potentially head higher, given that the overall markets are cooperative. We've got a weaker dollar. We've got a 10-year yield that's kind of going sideways to slightly lower. So the market conditions are good. And we've got, Camco's looking good here. I like the way that this looks. We've got that nice bounce and then the slow leak off, and then we usually run. I see that all the time. So it's looking good. We've got a kind of a bullish, piercing-ish type pattern, looking good. Bannerman's got a bullish engulfing with a hammer candlestick that usually resolves itself higher. It's sitting on top of support. Looks good. Goviak's another one that's sitting on top of support. Doesn't look as good as some of the other ones, but we do have a bullish engulfing there. Usually they resolve themselves higher. Global Atomic, we do have this bearish engulfing pattern there. Could be a fluke in some of these small companies. We got to see if the buyers step in and push it higher. We are still in a downtrend. The downtrend is this guy here. We're still in that downtrend. We got to break above that downtrend line. Forces Metals, may the forces be with all of us, guys. This one does look like it's trying to put in a, kind of a pattern that looks something like that. Now, is this a continuation pattern to the downside, or are we going to break to the upside? Good question. I don't know that answer. We got to wait for the market to tell us which way it wants to go. Looking at some of the other stocks within the group, it does look better. And I think that if the overall markets firm up and head higher, I think we'll head higher with it. Pure Point Uranium, bullish engulfing, they usually resolve themselves higher. It's right on support. That looks pretty good. We've got the sideways motion in deep yellow. I don't know which way this is going to break yet. We got to break back above all these resistance lines to get up above it. We have not done that yet. We are still kind of stuck below it, but the overall sector looks pretty solid. We're above support here. Bullish engulfing that day usually resolves higher. Sky Harbor looking a lot better. It's starting to bounce off that support line, so that's looking better. Canalaska just kind of right below its resistance line. A little bit lagged behind the other ones, but I don't see why this wouldn't catch back up if the entire sector starts moving higher. NXE still looks good. We've got kind of a nice big move, and then they usually go sideways like that, and then they rocket higher. Not much sellers the past few days, and hopefully that continues. Baseload Energy looking better. It's holding, moving sideways. Fission, putting in the bullish engulfings. Usually I like to buy those, and then they usually head higher. This is a small exploration company. The risk is much higher with it, but it's at support too, so it's looking a lot better. Fission looking okay, moving sideways, not too much sellers there. Kazatomprom looking a lot better, bullish, a bullish hammer pattern. We've got Peninsula Energy, big up days, small down days. It is looking a lot better than before. The sellers are starting to basically subside. That's why we're getting these small little red down days like that. The sellers aren't driving it. Buyers are starting to gain control. Boss Energy right at support, looking good. Consolidated Uranium getting some support right at support, getting some buying pressure. That looks good. Lotus Resources getting some buying pressure. UROI, we'll see where this thing goes. It's a small up day, so the sellers are still there, but the buyers are stepping in. We'll have to see what this does next. We are still in a short-term kind of downtrend pattern until we break it. Encore Energy moving sideways, but we're contracting in the opening and closing price. That's that small little candlestick here. Usually that happens before a move upward, but we're still in a downtrend. So the buyers haven't stepped in yet to confirm this. Still moving. This one's broken its downtrend line. Buyers are stepping in. We have a bullish piercing type pattern, not a full bullish piercing. Usually they go to 50th percentile mark, but it's still a soft one, put it that way. Nobody likes it soft, guys. URG coming right on support. There we are. We've got UEC getting a, man, it's right there, encapsulating that opening price. Usually it goes up, but again, it's not above the 50th percentile mark. It's not technically a reversal candlestick yet. LEU still looks good though. We are putting in this pattern where you kind of come in and then we could launch at any time. If the buyers decide to come in here, we could launch it. Some of these patterns are breaking their downtrends. Some are still in downtrends, like this one. But it's looking better. We don't have the huge selling pressure, bullish piercing there on ISO Energy right at support. I do like buying on these support levels, but we are still in a downtrend line. So we still got to break it. Appia Energy trying to find some support right where it's at. Basically a flat day today if it decides to show up. This is a little hammer pattern. I do like it there. Denison Mines, bullish piercing, probably going to go higher soon. Looking good. Blue Sky Uranium, small down days, larger up days. It looks like this is turning for the better, for a move on higher. Hammer candlestick, small little red days. I think we'll probably end up moving on higher, hopefully very soon. Looking at Anfield Energy, bullish, kind of a bullish piercing, but not technically bullish engulfing before it. It looks good. It's right at support. Laramide just moving sideways, trying to find support, looking a lot better. Moving sideways in Western Uranium. It's probably going to turn at some point here when the buyers step in. It looks like we're finding that balance between the buyers and sellers. We're doing the same thing with UEXCF. Mega Uranium will probably bounce around here for a little bit, perhaps, and then we'll see if the buyers can muster a move higher. Standard Uranium still moving on up, broken down trend, still looking good above support. ALXEF moving sideways with the hammer pattern. Valor Metals just moving sideways right above support, still looking good. Elevate right above support, little hammer candlestick there. That one's looking a lot better too. And 92E just moving down sideways. It's still above all the support levels. Still looks good. Overall, guys, the uranium sector looks like we're trying to put in a bottom. Now, let's do a quick look real quick at the S&P 500 just for everybody. That's our small little down day today. It was basically flat. So uranium went up in the face of a small down day in the S&P 500. Now, if we get this large sell-off, if we get a large sell-off here, it will drag us lower because of the leveraged. All the leverage in the system creates a sell everything event if we get a big, large sell-off. If we don't get big, large sell-offs, I think we'll be okay and we'll decouple from all this. And this does look a little bit better, but again, we got to see what the overall markets do. Everything is kind of leveraged up and tied to each other. But most of these companies, even like an REMX, they had good buying pressure and it looks good. So looking around at some of these other sectors, they do look good. So I think things are turning around. Again, though, I mean, the overall markets don't look great. So it depends on the rate that they fall. If they fall big, I think we'll get a deleveraging sell everything event. If it falls slowly, I think we'll decouple. That's kind of my thinking on it. And it doesn't mean that every down day is going to decouple of every single day. They're still going to be coupled. Sometimes they won't. But what we want to do is decouple from it. And we are decoupling. If you look at the CRB index to the S&P 500, we are outperforming it. So we are decoupling. It's just the rate of decouple, of how big it's decoupling. So that's what I've got for today, guys. If you guys are interested in the service that I've got, the Finding Value website's below. Sign up to the Platinum membership. You can see what I'm buying. I'm going to do maybe another video, a question and answer session Saturday. So we're going to talk about a lot of these companies, how I would be positioning, what companies I'd be looking at, what looks really good. I'll probably just start with that and the ones that I'm going to be buying. I do think that we are putting in bottoms in a lot of sectors. We're in that process of bottoming. So that's when I usually cost average in. If you're interested in what I'm buying, become a Platinum member. You can see it. There's also a lot of financial education on there. Again, thumb up for the content, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.